everyone, it's Christian Girl Kelly, and right now I am reading this devotional about the book of Jude. Shout out to Jackie Hill Perry. She has a devotional on YouVersion. She also has like this whole series I know that you can get, as well, just resources to study very deeply the book of Jude. So doing this with a couple of friends, my sister as well, and it was really interesting because there's something that really struck me this week. There's a question about who this person is, who Jude is, and who is he serving. So in the very like opening verse, Jude lays out who he is, his relation, and who he's a servant to. And so part of the devotional, there's kind of like the question, what other verses would help you know the one that he serves, who is God, servant of Jesus Christ. And so, I'm doing my reading, kind of doing some studying, and I came to this verse, John 6:38, and I'll read it for you. It says that, because I have come down from heaven to do not my own will, but the will of him who sent me. And this is Jesus speaking. The Gospel of John 6:38. And I started to think about it. Jesus was saying that he was doing the will of he who sent him. He was not doing his will. And sometimes we quote this, those who have grown up in church, you've been to church a lot or been around church people, not my will, but your will, Lord. We will say that, right? But what does that really mean, to not do your own will, to not follow your own will? Well, we deal with that a lot, right? There are so many instances in our lives where we have to submit to someone else's plan, whether we are students or children, right? And we have parents who have a particular will. And we have all dealt with that, like, I don't really want to do this, but my parents are telling me that I should do this or I have to do this, right? Not our will as kids, but our parents' wills. For those of us who are in school and you have assignments due, papers, tests, quizzes, projects, and you would much rather be doing other things associated with socializing or being able to just try new things, but you have to do what the will of your teacher is, right? Or not, but it's all part of that process. Not your will, but your teacher's will, the administration's will. And of course, those of us who are working, we know that there are particular just visions that we have to fall in line with, especially for those of us who are working in institutions. And even if you have your own business, right, there are a lot of different regulations that you have to follow with the government, right, in terms of filing taxes and making sure that you are compliant with all the regulations of whatever industry you're in, right? Not our will, but our bosses or the government's or, whomever, their will. So, are we really reflecting on that when it comes to what God is sending us for? And sometimes I think it's really funny if you're in a certain group of people, we'll say things like, don't come for me unless I sent for you. If you've ever heard that, right? Don't come for me unless I sent for you. But have we ever flipped that on ourselves? Have we been sent somewhere? Where are we going? And all of us have a purpose. All of us have been sent down to this earth. We are all alive for a particular purpose that God prepared in advance for us to do. We have good works to do here on earth, and we have been sent. And there's a will that is not our own that we should be following. So I hope that this is just a little bit of a nudge to get you to think about where you've been sent. Have you been sent to a particular dorm? Have you been sent to a particular region of the country? Have you been sent to a particular group of people? Have you been sent to do a particular work? Whatever it is, remember that you've been sent. And others did not call you. Those who are there when you arrived, they did not call you. God called you. You've been sent by him. And there is a will that you should be doing. Not your will, but a will that you should be doing that is for God's great purposes. And to fulfill that purpose, to do his will, to walk in that, no matter what it might be, no matter how easy or difficult it might seem at the moment, there is great glory, great goodness up ahead for you. When you say, not my will, but your will. It's Christian Girl Kelly. See you next time. It's funny because sometimes like people are like, don't come for me unless I send for you. Now, really, was that necessary? I mean, sometimes I do understand that can be, just trying to put people in their place. But are you in position? That's the question. Are you where you're supposed to be? How are people finding you in places that you were sent by God for? Right? Obstacles, we're not going to worry about those. Let's not worry too deeply about who is sending things and coming for things when we should be sending and coming ourselves to a particular place. Are we doing the will of God, or are we clapping about those who are not? We know they're not doing the will of the Lord. They're coming for us. The Lord didn't send them to come for us. It's the work of the enemy. So don't get distracted on those who are being sent in places that they are actually not going. Don't worry about the Jonas. Their will is coming. You'll get that. Just read your word.